All right. Sunday, everyone. SWOLA152. I should just remind myself not to try and speak while I'm... Because it fucks up my jive. When I'm playing guitar, I basically forget to breathe, you know? And sometimes when the guitar playing is really intricate and hard, it's almost like I'm suffocating myself because I forget how to breathe. Hello! How you guys doing? It's Sunday with Ola 152. Welcome, everyone. Hope you're having a good Sunday so far, man. Hello. You know, I have something that is truly exciting, at least for me. But I guess that's how it normally goes when we're talking solar guitars. And today, that is this. Look at this. This is the S1.7C. And you might be like, well, you know, you guys already had this guitar. Well, that's okay. So back when I initially first had, you know, my solar designs being done with Washburn guitars, this design right here was one of the first ones we made, like the, you know, the flat top with the binding, and it all goes back to like Strictly 7 when I had a guitar with Strictly 7 guitars. You know, it was the black body and the white binding, very inspired by Ibanez Mick Thompson. You know, because it's just so elegant. Well, we've had this guitar with solar guitars before as well, but this time it's with a neck joint that looks like this, and that is a tribute to the strict... Oh, I didn't... What? Oh! Well, record, you little asshole! Shit, I forgot to turn on the main camera. What the hell? Did I turn all the other cameras on at least? Yes! Basically with this type of neck joint right here, and then you see the 5-piece maple neck right there. I mean, that's the Strictly 7 solar guitar, you know? So it's basically like an homage to the early days of Ola Englund. But there's also the 6-string, obviously, the same with every tune bridge, and the same type of neck joint right there, and you know, the bare back of the neck. Very cool. And also, if you remember this, from the absolute beginning, like 2011 when I started my YouTube channel, well, like when it became serious at least, you know, my prototype Strictly 7 was a completely black guitar. So we have a completely black S2.6 right here. And all of these come with plus pickups, okay? So Duncan Solar plus pickups right there. Very bare bones. Hello. We have so much shit happening this autumn with solar guitars, and I feel like, you know, even with the YouTube channel, I have a lot of things to do. And it feels great. Oh shit, last but not least, you know, today only, on this Sunday, on the Solar Guitars website, if you buy a guitar, you get a chug pedal for free. It's one of those back to school things. Huh? Chug pedal. This back to school campaign ends tonight. So buy a guitar, get a free chug pedal. Okay, I don't think you guys are ready for this, but ThaNews. Boy, oh boy, I love myself some good old news. Check this out. Finally, Jackson cements its relationship with Sepultura guitarist Andreas Kisser with a single pickup skull emblazoned soloist. So Andreas Kisser has never had a signature guitar before. That's interesting. Well, now he has one with Jackson. Sepultura player Andreas Kisser has been a Jackson man for 3 decades now, and the brand has finally honored a longtime devotee with a non-Mormel signature guitar, the Quadra. Pro Series signature soloist Quadra, to give its full name, is an interesting build that simplifies the usual soloist sonic equation while also giving the template a unique visual makeover. Let's watch. That's a very ineffective right hand right there, just like mine. See how much movement he's doing with the down picking. Yes, that's my go-to riff too. Also, the people at Jackson need to fix their background. Look, it's not supposed to be like that. It's meant to like stay upright. Very cool, good for Andreas Kisser. What was the pickup? EMG 81. There you go. Obvious choice. On the guitar, you have the artwork for Sepultura's latest album, Quadra. Check that out. That's pretty cool. How muchachos? How much will it be, muchachos? $13.99. Okay, fairly decent price, I would say. All right, so you guys might have noticed a couple of years ago there was a pandemic. Shit. Oh, let's not talk about that for a second. Well, when the pandemic happened, a lot of people started playing guitar, because people had to work from home, and a lot of people bought guitars. And my dog wants to head out, so I'll fix that first. That was in 2021, and since a lot of people needed to work from home or got to work from home, and they were quarantining, a lot of people invested in themselves, bought themselves a sick-ass guitar, and business was booming. For a brand like Fender, for instance, they were doing an insane year of 2021. Then eventually, 2022, when things got back to normal, people stopped prioritizing buying guitars. Guitars were no longer a priority. Fender had $100 million worth of retail sales canceled in 2022. The guitar giant CFO Matt Janopal says the figure equates to roughly 600,000 guitars and 200,000 amps. Holy shit face. Of course, what goes up must go down, and a decline has subsequently followed. Now we have some concrete figures from the world's biggest guitar brand, Fender. We had 60 million people pick up a guitar during the pandemic, 30 million worldwide, and the industry and Fender really benefited from that, explains Janopal. Then, of course, we get to 2022 and people decide to start taking vacations or doing other things with their disposable income. Guitars were no longer the priority, and the tough call I had to make was dealing with a retail partner cancellations of orders in the magnitude approaching $100 million. Holy shit. So basically, they're sitting on a stock of 600,000 guitars and 200,000 amps for that year that were meant to go to retailers and distributors, and then they just got canceled. So, shit. We stood up extra warehouses where the existing product could come into. Then we looked at every single piece We stood up extra warehouses where the existing product could come into. Then we looked at every single piece of our operating expense infrastructure and said, where can we either cut costs or slow things down? The firm reportedly laid off 300 California employees last August, and the news appears to align with speculations online from players and dealers that Fender has been working through a significant oversupply. What has that meant for us guitar buyers? Well, you might have seen that there's a bunch of discounts. Fender CEO Andy Mooney told us earlier this year that 2022 ended up being the second best year they've ever had. So it's understandable, the effect of 2021, and we had no idea how long this pandemic would run, or like how long people would need to stay at home or work from home and shit like that. And seeing that 2021, a lot of people bought guitars. Obviously, you buy more guitars, and you make sure that you have inventory to for the demand of the guitars out there. And no one knew how long this work from home thing would be. And eventually, when people got back to their ordinary lives and started doing vacations, they were oversupplied. That makes sense. So basically, they bought a lot of guitars, laid off a bunch of people, and did their best year. And now they're probably, getting back to speed again. That's my little guess from it. But very interesting hearing the numbers for a brand like Fender, which is, it's top brand. After almost a decade of no music, Job for a Cowboy releases a new single, The Agony Seeping Storm. Let's check it out. The Agony Seeping Storm gives a slice of our upcoming concept record. Regarding the video, the band collaborated extensively with director Kay Hunter, Lumar, Digital Mile, The concert was inspired by a close friend who embarked on a relentless quest for profound enlightenment through the incessant abuse of drugs. Okay, there you go. So pretty standard and straightforward. However, as they delved deeper into the religious-like experimentation, they began exhibiting symptoms of bipolar disorder and schizophrenia. Okay, you know what I like about Job for a Cowboy, and this single in particular? You can actually hear the bass, the clean bass. Listen to that. Did you hear? No? Okay. Sick single, mate. New album will be out next year. Metallica! Metallica, Pantera, and Five Finger Death Munch had some pretty big fans in the crowd during their August 25 shows at the SoFi Stadium. Among the show's attendees were John Travolta, you know, longtime Mill fan Jason Momoa, Tom Sandoval, and a bunch of other people. And let's check out some footage of Momoa in the pit of Pantera. That's never. Oh, it's the snake pit. So it's not a real pit. I thought he was in the pit, but no, he's just in the snake pit. Okay, it's a cute little pit right there. They're jumping. You know, this is a nice pit. I enjoy this. They're just having a blast, good time. No, you know, round kicks, no roundhouse. Ha! Roadhouse. You know, no roadhousing. All right, I was hoping not to talk about this piece of news because I was really hoping for there to be better news this week. Not gonna lie. And when I saw this, I was like, okay, I'm not gonna report on this, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Dave Mustaine is moving to Italy. Hello, me. Meet the Italian me. Great. Dave is saying, I have something very special I need to tell you guys. A couple of weeks ago, I just bought a house in Italy, said Mustaine. So think about that. You wake up tomorrow morning and you see me out your window and I'm walking with my boxes and you go, man, that looks like Dave Mustaine. I gotta tell you, I'm so excited to be able to call Italy a new place for us to live. And I want to thank you all for your graciousness and helping teach me how to be a good resident here and to learn how to live the Italian life. He continued, what I said about me moving over here is true, and I'm really excited to live in Italy when we do. We're going to keep our residency in the States, but we're going to be living here. And we really look forward to meeting a lot of you. And I think we're going to have a lot of fun together. Is he speaking to the Italian people? It sounds like he's announcing a tour or something, that they're going to have fun together. So anyways, good on him, man. Holy shit. I would absolutely do the same if I had the cash. You move to a beautiful country, wake up with your beautiful wife next to you, and then you just walk out, you have a sip of wine and 2 olives, pizza, you know, in Italy, obviously, bringing up all the stereotypes. You know, the pasta, the pizza, the parma and the mozzarella on a plate, olive oil, tomatoes. Good to go. Good on Dave, Mr. Mustaine right there. You know, I completely support this move. All right, I'm terribly sorry for doing this, but we're heading over to TMZ. It's just way better news, man. Okay, let's see what's up. Russian daredevils building jump fails, somehow survives. What? Oh shit, I think I saw this. This is not music related, by the way. Holy shit! Okay, Russian. I don't know what that means. Oh, here we go. This is the news I've been searching for. Kim Kardashian not concerned by Kanye West after cheeky wardrobe mishap. What is this picture right there? Is he taking a dump? What the f***? Oh, wardrobe malfunction overseas. That does not look like a malfunction right there. Okay, let's end it there. The news. Oh, hello. Adventures with Ola, maybe. What am I doing? I'm going to a guitar store. Just to check, okay? Just to check. There's... No. Calm down. I'm not gonna buy a guitar. No, I'm not there to buy a guitar. I just want to check out what's available. You know, maybe try a couple of things or two. Check if there's any cool news. This is the store where I bought the custom shop Fender a couple years back for my 40-year-old birthday. Really awesome store, and they usually have a lot of new cool shit, so I'm gonna go check it out, you know? And I'm not gonna buy a guitar, okay? promise. Also, I've been sitting way too much in the office, so it's nice to come out. It's a beautiful day, man. You know, summer in Sweden has been kind of cool this year, so I'm hoping for, you know, a September that's a little hotter, you know? Oh, those are basses. I like this one. Fender Strat Noir. These went for like 250 euros back during the 90s. Now it's about $1,000. Some things go up in value. Look what I found. Alligator. I had to count the strings. It's 8. Let's go. Okay, so that store visit was fairly tough, I must say, dude. They had a bunch of guitars. That's for sure. Where the fuck my turn around? But I did good. I did good. I didn't purchase a guitar. However, I did buy strings. 2 3-packs of 10 to 52 Ernie Ball Slinkies. Also, I'm going to try out something completely new. This is a set of 36 to 7s. Like, what? Sippy Slinky. Why not? 7s, man. Otherwise, I also bought a couple of 8 sets and a couple of 8.5 sets as well. I really started liking 8.5 sets on a 7-string guitar. So that's my new thing. 8.5, man. Yeah, you heard it right. No, but that store is dangerous business, man. It's not easy going in there and you know, see all of these beautiful guitars. I don't generally do visit guitar store that often, but if I do it in Stockholm, it's definitely at this shop. I really dig the looks of that PRS guitar I tried right there. You know, it looked freaking amazing. However, I just don't gel with, you know, the regular PRS necks for some reason. There are a couple of guitars I've tried that are great, but in general, like the, you know, the custom 24 and 22 and like their standard necks, I just don't gel with them for some reason, so that's a shame. First time I've ever tried a Kaizen guitar, and that was also very cool. Seeing that little bevel on the backside of the body, or like, you know, this small little carve right there for big bellies. That was cool. It felt great. I'm thinking, like, which guitars did I try? And I can't remember now. Goldfish Ola memory. Anyways, that's my little adventures for you right there. Ha! All right, Please Respong. The return of Please Respong. Please Respong. I haven't done a Please Respong in a while, so I'm doing it right now. Okay, let's read. Too Much Worth is saying, Ola, do you ever do mixing in the car like Spectre Sound Studios? That's a legit good question. And yes, absolutely, I have mixed in a car before. Right now, I'm not really mixing albums. This was when I was doing more of that back, you know, early 2010s and shit like that. I was mixing more myself, and I did some other bands and shit like that. And I would eventually go to my car, because the car would be the place where I will listen to the most music, right? So, you know, that's where I would, you know the sound the best. So I would actually take like an iPod, I think, with me with the song, connect it to my stereo, or burn a CD basically and just shove it into the stereo in the car and listen to the music. And then I would sit there and try and hear like, oh shit, well, there's a lot, you know, there's way too much bass or stuff like that. So absolutely, I would go to the car and do this. Now, it's a completely different story. First of all, it's not that often that I drive a car. You know, I walk a lot nowadays. If I drive a car, I like to have it quiet for some reason, unless I'm going, you know, somewhere that's far. The place where I listen the most to music nowadays is here. So this is where I mix. And a lot of people might ask, like, okay, do you mix with headphones? No, I don't do that anymore, like at all. The only time I check with headphones is if I listen to it through my AirPods on my phone. I can do that somewhere, like the SWOLA intros here, for instance. I could take that into the other room on my phone and listen to it, just make sure that it's okay balanced. But since I'm not mixing it for an album, I'm mixing it for a YouTube video, which, you know, it's not as important. You know, I don't bother too much with checking mixes, you know, here and there. Great question, and it makes a lot of sense. A lot of people spend time in their cars, you know, commuting to work, listening to music and albums. It's a good way of referencing and comparing to other albums, for sure. So, but now, no, I'm not doing it that much. I mix to a lot of the, but as of right now, no, I don't really reference check mixes in my car. I just do it here and just release it, basically. Great question. If you have a question for Please Respond, post in the comment section, okay? Maybe I'll get you featured in the next Sunday with Ola. All right, my friends, that's it for Sunday with Ola 152 for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed it. Also, if you want to support subscribe, leave a comment, put a thumbs up. You can also get merch from olaenglundshop.com. Remember, free chug pedal if you buy a guitar only today, okay? And that's it. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. Have a lovely Sunday, and I'll see you soon, okay? Goodbye.